Welcome to Small Arms Solutions. Today we're looking at the Faxon Firearms Sentry MSR. Now, Faxon is a company that I have followed from the beginning. It's got to be close to 10 years, maybe a little bit less. But when they first came out with the ARAC, which is another topic we're going to be discussing in a separate video. So we're going to talk a little bit about Faxon Firearms. It was founded in 1978 by Dave Faxon. It was originally for repairing cars. It was also known as White Colt Arms, which they made barrels for muzzle loaders. Faxon Manufacturing is now a world-class manufacturing facility for products from the automotive, the aerospace, as well as many other industries as well, not just firearms. I had the privilege of visiting Faxon in 2015, I believe it was. And I had a chance to go through their production facility. And it was very interesting seeing a small area where they had manufactured rifles and firearms components, and then walking into another area where they were manufacturing parts for missiles for the U.S. government. I saw car parts. I saw all kinds of different things. So there was just a wide variety of things that they were manufacturing. So the story basically goes back around 2011. Bob Faxon was watching a TV show with his sons, and it was on military weapons. And this particular show claimed that the M16 was number 2, AK was number 1. And when Bob and his son saw that, they were sort of appalled that there was anything that the U.S. was number 2 in. And that started the interest in the ARAC, his development of the ARAC, again, which is a separate video that we're going to do. Unfortunately, the ARAC video was one of the first videos that we ever did, and when we were taken down by YouTube, that was one of the ones that was lost. So now we're going to be redoing that one with all the changes that we have now, which we're looking forward to doing that. But Bob always wanted to get into the AR-15 manufacturing, but obviously he realized after going to a SHOT Show that it's a saturated market. He had to find his niche. Now, with all the tooling capabilities, the deep drilling capabilities that they had at Faxon, he knew he would be able to work in this industry. So he started off with the ARAC and then went into manufacturing barrels, and it is all just snowballed from then. Now, Bob Faxon is probably in my opinion, one of the most gifted designers we've had in the last 20 years. And I have to say the same thing for a gentleman named Mike Brown from Adcore Industries, who is now Ambi Products. He was designer of the Bear rifle, which was one of the finalists in the individual carbine program. What made these guys so special and unique is these were not guys who came from the gun industry. They had a vision of a weapons platform. They didn't have any poison from the way it's always been in the past. They started off from a clean sheet of paper with no misconceptions and no ideas and no way, it was all out of the box thinking. And so that's really how highly I think of Bob Faxon and Mike Brown. So now we're going to look at them today. Today they are known for world-class ARAC 21. They're known for making extremely reliable, accurate barrels, complete rifles as we see right here. They're making barrels for pistols. They're making slides. They're even making their own pistol now. This company has just blown up for as far as their production line. They've now split off into basically two companies. One's manufacturing, which is now run by Bob Faxon. Then you have Faxon Firearms, which is run by his brother Barry. So that's how big they've had to separate them into two different buildings now because the production has just gone so incredible. As of 2021, you have the ARACs, the AR-15s, 9mm PCCs, FX-19 pistols, and the entire plethora of barrels in all calibers. They do OEM work now as well for as far as their barrels is concerned. The company is just drastically blown up, and people know and they appreciate them now. So what we're looking at here is the Sentry. This is a complete Faxon rifle. I've been trying to get one of these for a little bit of time here because I've gotten a lot of components from Faxon bolt carriers and barrels, but I never gotten one of their complete barrels. So we're going to go from front to back. First, we're looking at the rifle's 5.56 millimeter. The upper receiver is a 775 T6 aircraft aluminum forging. Of course, the upper and lower are both aluminum forgings, and they're Class 3 hardcoat anodized to GI spec black. We also have a little bit of lightweight on here. We have some modifications here too, where they drilled the cartridge case deflector, where they drilled some material out of it, so just reducing a little bit of weight on the upper receiver. Now the barrel, again, which is totally made by Faxon, this is part of their gunner profile barrel, 16 inches. It's a 4150 chrome moly vanadium. Now they chose to go with a 1 1/8 inch twist on here rather than a 1 7, 1/2 by 28 threads. Now the muzzle device on here is also something that's designed specifically by Faxon and manufactured by them, and basically gives you adjustable muzzle brake flash suppressor. By loosening this lock washer, you're able to time this to allow the gases to go out in whatever direction to help you reduce your recoil. There's no crush washer, and again, you can time your own muzzle device. Now this is a nitride finished. Pretty much everything that they manufacture is nitride finished, whether it be the barrels or the bolt carriers. Now it uses a mid-length gas system. Now we've spoke on many of my videos about how I'm a big fan of the mid-length gas system. It gives the ideal situation for the gun to have more dwell time over the carbine. It's definitely a mechanical advantage for reliability, and when it's able to be used, it should always be used. You have a very slim profile gas block underneath. The only disappointment I have is that it was not drilled and pinned. Now, again, very few companies drill and pin these days because everybody wants to change everything out. If this was going to be used as a combat rifle or as a duty rifle, I definitely would recommend drilling and pinning. Now, the barrel does have M4 feed ramps, and the upper receiver has extensions on it as well, so you do have the features of the M4. Now, the handguard is a Faxon 15-inch M-LOK handguard. So, as you see, we have M-LOK. We have a full 1913 rail on the top. I do have some of the Magpul M-LOK rail panels on here as well, just to give it a little bit of extra good feel to it. The sights I chose to put on here was the M-Bus Pro by Magpul. Now, these are excellent low-profile backup sights, elevation on the front, and windage on the rear with two apertures. The charging handle is manufactured by Radiant Firearms as their Raptor. It's an ambidextrous charging handle with good gripping grooves on both sides, so it can be actuated by each hand. Next thing we're taking a look at is the lower receiver. Now, this lower receiver is basically a mil-spec type lower receiver. However, they have the ambidextrous Talon safety on here, which I absolutely love. Now, this can go either to 90 or 45 degree throw, whichever you so chose. Now, personally, I prefer the 90 degrees over the 45 degrees, but just by swapping out the way you install it, you can change that. You have a B5 pistol grip. B5 pistol grip, I'm not fond of the grip angle on it. If this was my personal rifle, I'll be changing this out for a Magpul Biad, just like that. It's just something that works much better for me. It feels better. B5 stock, these are very popular stocks right now. And again, the lower receiver is basically a mil spec. You have your standard location for your magazine release. And we're going to take a look on the opposite side. As you can see, we're pretty much standard for our ping pong paddle for the bolt release. And we have our safety as well, Talon. Next thing you want to take a look at is the bolt carrier group. Now, the bolt carrier group on here is very common for as far as spare parts. This is all nitride, beautifully made, to say the least. This is a very beautifully made part. Now, Faxon manufactures bolt carrier groups for literally everything. 7.62 by 39, 6.8. They make a complete bolt for a 9mm PCC type. Their quality is astronomical. Magnetic particle and proof tested bolts. These are available also as spare parts. Now, every part that you see on this rifle you can buy as a spare part for an upgrade to your rifle, which is another nice thing about this. Separate the upper and lower receiver. I'll take a look at the trigger on here. This is one of the very nice parts on here. Now, the trigger on here I'm very fond of. This is a Hip-Fire EDTDM trigger. This trigger here will come with some different springs too. You have a heavier spring and a lighter hammer spring. The creep is absolutely minimal. You have sort of a unique curvature to the trigger as well. You have a B5 trigger guard on the bottom here, which gives you a little bit extra room with gloves. But the overall manufacturing and machining of this is just absolutely gorgeous. So fit and finish, everything is absolutely gorgeous on here. Then what we're going to do now is we'll take us to the range. We're going to see how it shoots. Now, as to be expected from everything that comes out of Faxon, 100% reliable. We had no malfunctions of any sort. Accuracy was excellent, as you can see from the target. Most of the shots we use are our challenge targets. We do have a code for them, SAS. You can get 10% off of every steel target that they have. Again, we've had a lot more fun using steel targets than shooting regular paper. Faxon manufacturing parts can be used for anything. If you want to buy a complete rifle, if you want to build a rifle, if you want to just pick and choose some of their parts, the overall quality is just first rate. It's top rate. This company sort of reminds me of Magpul, when you see a company that started off and just blew up for as far as its quality and its size. In a very short period of time, they gained their reputation very, very quickly because, again, being a precision manufacturing facility, they knew how to do it. They knew how to do the deep drilling. They knew how to do the CNC. They have all the CNC machines. They have everything that they need to do state-of-the-art manufacturing. They've done some work with Brownells on their retro line, which I was very pleased to see as well. So they are doing OEM products. They're now manufacturing their own pistols, which I look forward to getting my hands on in the near future. But again, having had the opportunity to go down and visit them several years ago, and I'm told now if I was to go back, I wouldn't recognize the place because when I saw it, everything was under one roof. Now because of that such humongous expansion, now that they're in two different locations. So anybody who's looking to have a starter rifle, this is an excellent starter rifle, so you're probably looking around the $1,200 mark. And it's worth every penny of it. There are ones that are more expensive. There are ones that are less expensive. But the reality is, to get something that works properly, you don't have to sell off your firstborn, and you also don't go the cheapest route. But overall, the quality is excellent. I've been very, very pleased with everything I've ever seen out of Faxon. So we look forward to doing the new video on the ARAC 21, which is, again, an incredible design, which marries some of the best parts of the AK and the M16 into one, and allowing you to have multiple barrel changes as well, which is really one of their first real products, and it was an ingenious one. So I do hope you all enjoyed this video. If you do, please click like, please subscribe, even better, share. Thank you.